A really easy way to start sketchnoting is to add little people to your notes. They can add a lot of visual interest and convey a lot of information in a very easy way. We don't have to spend a lot of time doing the people. In fact, if you're at a lecture or in a meeting, it's very hard to spend a lot of time and add a lot of detail. So here's a quick way of adding people to your notes. I've drawn 9 boxes and 9 circles on top of those boxes, and now by drawing little lines with loops off the corners of my boxes, I've got a little person, and he's really fast to draw, and he can pack a lot of personality into his small frame. For instance, if you vary the angles of the arms, you can give him different postures. Give him some legs to stand on, and all of a sudden he's got one hand on one hip and one hand in the air. What about if we put both arms up in the air? Hooray! Our little guy is pleased to be here, or maybe he's signalling for help. What if we have one arm down and one arm up? Again, just 2 straight legs. This little guy, he's having a bad day. He's got his head in his hands just by bending both of those arms off the top of the box. What if we want to show movement? Again, bend those arms, one up, one down. You know what it looks like to run. You've got one foot on the ground and the other one up in the air. And all of a sudden you've got a running man. After all that running, we might be exhausted and want to just sit around and not do much. So splay those legs right out from the corner of those boxes and you're sitting down. It's interesting to look at how we position weight in our body and then reflect that in our little stick boxes. Our little box men, sorry. What about just 2 hands on hips, standing there like we know it all? But of course, a really great way to add expression is with some features on the face. So a couple of eyes and a nose. It's really all it takes. You don't even have to put a mouth in, though that really does help a lot of the time. A good reason to use a nose, even just a line for a nose, is that we can then orient the face. So we can have our little men looking to the left or the right, give them a bit more variety. That's just by shifting the line of the nose across the circle of the face. Let's make sure this runner knows which way he's going and watching what he's doing. We can look up by putting the eyes really high on the circle, and we can glance to one direction or the other. And by varying the mouth expression, we get all sorts of different facial effects. Once we've got our little people, we can give them a reason for living. This guy's pretty chuffed with himself with his hands on his hips because his profits are going up, up, up. Really easy, just zigzags and squares. And now we've portrayed a whole story with just a stick man and a prop. This guy is pretty unhappy because he dropped his Coke on the ground and it's just spilled everywhere. What's he going to do? But his neighbour is a little happier. Circles and triangles, and all of a sudden he's got himself a balloon. No wonder he's happy. Wonder what's going on though. Where did he get his balloon from? Remember this dude with his hands up in the air? How happy was he to see you? So happy he made a banner. Banners are pretty easy to add and pretty effective. Don't take much time at all. Not quite sure why this dude's doing. If he's pointing, that's a funny point. Maybe he's laughing at the poor guy who dropped his Coke. Add some dashes, and our runner's moving pretty fast to deliver his baton or diploma or message or whatever he's delivering here. Give this little guy something to read. Maybe he's got his newspaper on the ground. Just spending a bit of time chilling out, reading his reports or his annual report or whatever it is he's reading. Boxes are great. Our mind does all the tricks. We can just put a few boxes together and hey presto, we've got ourselves a dog or a lamb or something here. who does not want to go the direction this human wants to go. Practice, you little people. They're lots of fun.